How do you play D? The D chord is a lot like a C chord, just lifted up 2 frets. So in the C chord, for example, on the top 3 strings, you have a open string, you have the 1st fret, and then you have an open string again. Whereas with the D chord, you're on the 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and 2nd fret again. So also on the 4th string, the open 4th string is a D already, so that's the root of the chord. So you strum these 4 strings, and that gives you a D in root position. Now on the 3rd string, you've used your index finger to lift that up to the 2nd fret. That raises the G up to an A. On the 2nd fret, you use your ring finger to lift the B up to a D, so that gives you the 1st of the chord. And then on the 1st string, you use your middle finger to lift the E up to an F sharp, and that gives you the 3rd of the chord. So we've got a 1, 5, 1, 3. And then very conveniently on the 5th string, we have an A, which is also the 5th of the chord. So you can play a D chord in alternating bass style without moving any of your fingers, just going back and forth between the 4th string back and forth between the 4th string and the 5th string. You can even get the 6th string involved. If you use your thumb, you can wrap your thumb around and hold down the 6th string on the 2nd fret, and that gives you the 3rd of the chord. And if you strum all 6 strings, that gives you the 1st inversion of the E chord. If you strum the 5 strings, we've got the 2nd inversion with the A in the bass, and then the 4 strings are the root position of the chord. So if you look at the 5 strings, starting with the A, we have the 5th of the chord, we have the 1st of the chord, we have the 5th again, we have the 1st again, and then we have the 3rd. So the 3rd only occurs once if you're strumming those 5 strings, or if you're strumming the top 4 as well, which means that you can play the suspended seconds and fourths very easily. To get a suspended 4th, you just need to lift that 1st string up 1 fret, and you can do that by using your pinky finger. You place that down on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and that gives you your D suspended 4th. Lifting it up again, you go back to the D chord, and then if you lift up your middle finger, it takes that down 2 frets, and that takes you to the suspended 2nd, and then back to the D chord. So you can even use pull-offs and hammer-ons to smoothly go from the suspended 4th through the D chord to the suspended 2nd and back up again like this. And you hammer on to get back to the D. To play a D minor chord, you need to reorganize your fingers a little bit. What you can do, you can even leave your ring finger in place. You lift up your index finger and your middle finger and switch their places, where the index finger drops back to the 1st fret of the 1st string and the middle finger goes onto the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and that gives you the D minor. So that's the variations on the 1st string. On the 2nd string, we can play some variations too. We have the root of the chord on the 2nd string there. If you drop that down 2 frets, that becomes a 7th. So once again, you do that by reorganizing your fingers. This time you have to lift all 3 of them up, and you put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. You put your index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and you put your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. That gives you the D 7th. To go with the D major 7th, you want to be on the 2nd fret on all 3 strings. So you just can make a bar using your index finger and play it like this. And that's the major 7th. And you can go to a 6th from the position where you've got a D7th, you just lift up your index finger. That gives you a D6. So last few chords to take care of here. We have the D minor 7th. You make a little mini bar with your index finger just going across the first two strings, strings 1 and 2, and then you use your middle finger to hold down the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. That gives you the D minor 7th. See, we've gone from a D7th shape and we've just dropped the top string down one fret, which makes it the minor 3rd. So that's your D minor 7th. And finally, the D minor 6th. If you just move your index finger, lift it up and put it on the 1st fret, leave the 2nd string open, that's the D minor 6th. You can get some interesting effects taking advantage of the relationship between the C chord and the D chord. So for example, if you start with the C chord, you've got 2 open strings. You've got the E on the 1st string and you've got the G on the 3rd string. So if you slide the other strings up 2 frets, you've now got a D chord where you've added an E and a G, which are the 9th and the 11th of the D chord. So that makes kind of a nice sound. You can also make a 7th chord, a C7, by putting your pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. You slide all 4 strings up, and that gives you a D9 because you've got a D7 plus an E on the top string to give you a D9. One other effect I like, it's I think a nice sound. If you start and with a C position and you just play the 3 strings, strings 4, 3, and 2, lastly, I wanted to talk about different D chords up the fretboard. Starting right here at the 2nd fret, you can make a type of bar chord with a small bar. You can make with your index finger covering the first 3 strings, put your middle finger down on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and then put your ring finger down on the 4th string, 4th fret. And this is what I've been calling the C shape. If you make that at the 2nd fret, that gives you a D chord. This time we have an F sharp in the bass. This is actually a first inversion of the D chord. Anyway, from the C shape, you know you have the 3rd of the chord on the 1st string. You go up 3 frets, and that takes you to the 5th of the chord. So once you have the 5th of the chord located on the 1st string, you can make an A shape, and that gives you the D chord at the 5th fret. And then starting with an A shape, going up 3 frets, gives you the 7th, and then a whole step gives you the octave, and that puts us on the 10th fret. So on the 10th fret, if you make an E shape, a chord in the shape of an E, and that gives you the D chord there at the 10th fret. Okay, that's it for the D chord. Hope you guys like that. Let me know if you have any favorite D chord voicings that you like or any techniques you like to use to hit the D. See you later. Bye.